A few months ago, I made a video breaking down my $10,000 investment in SoFi, and since then, it's down over 50%. So today, let's update you on why SoFi stock is crashing, talk about the catalysts that are causing this, and of course, tell you my plan going forward and whether I am jumping ship or diamond handing this thing to the moon. All right, let's jump right into it. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So this is now my third video on SoFi stock, and in the first video, which was in June of 2021, I purchased just $1,000 at about $21 per share. And after that, it crashed nearly 40%, and over the next few months, I strategically bought more and more, and eventually ended up owning about $10,000 of SoFi stock at an average share price of about $16. But after it recovered in the fall of 2021, all the way up to $23 per share, it has been nothing but turmoil for SoFi stock, and it is now down over 50% from its previous high in just 3 short months. So what is going on here? Because I'll be the first to admit that I definitely got this one wrong. Well, the first major catalyst that I talked about back in my video in October that has not yet come to fruition is the governmental restart of federal student loans. As you may know, interest rates and payments on federal student loans have been paused for nearly 2 entire years now, and it seems like every time the end date draws near, it gets kicked down the road another few months, and the cycle continues. Now, I'm not here to debate whether or not that is a good or bad thing, but I would love to know what you think about that down in the comment section. However, this does have a major impact on SoFi and obviously SoFi stock because a large part of their business model is around student loan lending. And while they are absolutely still able to help people refinance and collect interest on their loans, a lot of people aren't refinancing, especially with their federal loans right now, because payments are paused, they're not accruing any interest, and why bother doing anything because of those factors? And as a result, that massive part of SoFi's business has not yet come back to life, but I still stand by my initial statement that when these student loan interest rates and payments do finally start up again, whenever that is, there are going to be a ton of people looking to refinance, and with all of the money that SoFi has been dumping into marketing recently, their platform is probably one of, if not the first that will come to mind for those individuals looking to refinance. Now, the second catalyst that we were still waiting on in the last video was SoFi's Q3 earnings, which happened in November of 2021, and that actually was a huge thumbs up in my opinion. SoFi exceeded their expected revenue and EPS, and the share price definitely jumped significantly the day following that earnings report. But that good news doesn't seem to be enough to overcome the other negative catalysts, including one that is a major game changer in my opinion that we'll get to in a second. So Q3 earnings were good. Q4 earnings, which will happen in March of 2022, will probably be good as well. But again, there's a lot of other factors at play here. Another catalyst that we didn't talk about in the last video that has had a huge impact on SoFi is that the entire market right now seems to be headed in the wrong direction. We have rampant inflation, international conflict leading to uncertainty, and in general, just a lot of fear and uncertainty across the board. And that is never a good thing for the markets, and as a result, things have been pretty red in general recently. Now, there's always going to be those companies that are the exception in certain situations, but SoFi is not immune to an unstable economic situation. So as the entire market has been pulling back, SoFi has and will probably continue to do the exact same thing, which really sucks. But remember, this is also a fantastic buying opportunity, which we'll break down next. But first, I want to talk about the last major catalyst that is actually really great news for SoFi, but also a drawback in some ways, but that would be in regard to their national bank charter. I get that the term national bank charter doesn't sound that exciting and probably doesn't sound like a big deal to a lot of you, but I can tell you, regardless of whether you are just a user of the SoFi platform, an investor in SoFi, or you just follow the fintech industry as a whole, this is really big news. Back in October, I talked about how SoFi was still awaiting to receive their national bank charter, and just about a week before I am recording this video, it finally happened, and if you've been following SoFi stock closely, then you probably know that it soared nearly 37% for several days following that announcement. Now, since then, the other negative factors have taken hold, and it currently sits up just 6% from where it was before that huge announcement. However, that doesn't change the fact that SoFi now has their national bank charter, so what does that mean going forward? Well, SoFi CEO said, quote, "With a national bank charter, not only will we be able to lend at even more competitive interest rates and provide our members with high high-yielding interest in checking and savings, it will also enhance our financial products and services to ensure that they efficiently meet the needs of our members, business partners, and communities across the country. In general, I completely agree with what he is saying. The biggest thing here is SoFi is now able to lend at more competitive rates because they have direct access to the feds and the interest rates that are set by the feds. And with interest rates set to soar in 2022, that is definitely a good thing in my opinion. And if you're confused about what all of this means, basically all you need to know is that SoFi used to have to go through a middleman who was their partner bank, but that is no longer the case, meaning no more middleman, meaning lower interest rates on their lending products, and hopefully higher interest rates on their general products like the SoFi money account. Plus, in general, they should just be able to enhance their services and products across the board, and hopefully add some of those features that we have been looking for from SoFi for a very long time. So that's all awesome, and the good news was definitely a positive catalyst for SoFi stock's price, but I am still concerned about the growing pains that they are experiencing, and they still have a large disadvantage when compared to a more traditional national bank, simply because they have a very limited asset base, which during inflationary periods usually favors those big banks who are able to capitalize on earned income from those assets. Not that big of a deal because the inflationary period won't last forever, hopefully, but at least for the time being, definitely something to keep in mind in the big picture. Plus, despite those concerns that are often shared by institutional investors, large institutions are still dumping an insane amount of money into SoFi stock, which, as I talked about in my last video, is usually a really good sign. Because if Vanguard is willing to purchase 5% of SoFi, then there's a good chance that this is probably a good investment and they see long-term potential here. Alright, but enough about all of that financial jargon, because you know that is not typically what I like to get into in this channel. I want to keep things as simple as possible. So let's answer the question that many of you are probably wondering: what is my investing plan with SoFi going forward, having already lost several $1,000s? Well, at the moment, my once $10,000 in SoFi stock, even at an average price of $16 per share, has lost several $1,000s, considering SoFi stock is currently hovering at around just $11 per share. But big surprise, I am still very bullish on this company, and I'm not just saying that because I'm gonna diamond hand this thing until I either lose everything or make it big. I truly am saying that because I've done the research, I talk about these companies for a living, and while they definitely have a lot of competition, they are one of very few fintech companies to receive their national banking charter. The inflationary woes that have caused this pullback across the board are not going to last forever, hopefully, and once these student loan interest and payments do finally start up again, I think that SoFi has positioned themselves to really grow on that side of their business, especially considering they are now able to offer more competitive interest rates on their lending products. So what am I doing? Well, I'm not going to dump another $10,000 into this at once or anything like that, but I will definitely be dollar cost averaging over the next several months in hopes of lowering my average price per share, since it is currently below my existing average price per share. Is there a chance that I will be completely wrong again, and in a few months I'll make another video about how I lost thousands of dollars in SoFi stock? Yeah, that definitely could happen, and that is very much a possibility. And to be honest with you, this is still a much larger investment in one company than I am personally comfortable with, but again, I believe in this company so much, and that's why I am okay with making that substantial investment. Plus, as someone who spends a lot of time promoting and talking about fintech companies, it feels like the right thing to do to put my money where my mouth is and show you that I truly believe in this industry as a whole, even if things haven't exactly panned out as planned. So, none of this is meant to be investing advice, obviously, and you always want to make these decisions on your own. So I would love to know what you think of SoFi stock down in the comment section below, and what your plan is going forward in terms of investing or not investing in SoFi stock. As always, if you did get value out of this content and you want to help support me, the easiest way to do that is actually by checking out some of my favorite financial tools down in the description below, including one offer from the Point Cashback debit card that will currently give you $100 when you open your account and make your first purchase, so definitely check that out using the link down below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future, and of course, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.